Sugarcane was introduced to Hawaii around 600 AD by Hawaii's inhabitants. After being observed by Captain Cook upon his arrival in the islands in 1778, sugar quickly turned into a big business and led to rapid population growth within the islands. As a result of the improving economy, 337,000 people immigrated to Hawaii over the span of a century. Sugar was grown in Hawaii and then shipped mainly to the U.S., and people who worked on the sugarcane plantations were the Japanese, Koreans, Chinese, Filipinos, and Puerto Ricans. What is your connection to sugarcane?
The company I work for, Alexander and Baldwin, has owned a sugar plantation for over 140 years on Maui.
Can you tell me a bit about the history of sugarcane in your company?
Our company's roots are in the sugarcane industry. It was started by two individuals, Samuel Alexander and Henry Baldwin, who bought 12 acres on Maui to start a sugarcane plantation. Today, their plantation is 36,000 acres of sugar on Maui. But more importantly, what started as a sugarcane company eventually became involved in shipping and real estate development in Hawaii.
What are some of the uses of sugarcane?
So our sugarcane on Maui is made into both refined white sugar, like the kind used for baking and everything, as well as raw sugar, like sugar in the raw packets that you find in restaurants. That's Maui sugarcane. But in addition to that, after they press all the sugar out of the cane plant, they use what's left of the cane plant to create energy. So actually our plantation on Maui is energy self-sufficient because it burns the bagasse, which is the sugarcane residue, to create power.
What do you think are the social impacts of sugarcane on Hawaii?
The sugar industry is responsible, in my opinion, for the ethnic diversity that we have in Hawaii. It was the sugarcane industry who brought over workers from Japan, China, Philippines, and other places to work on the plantations. And that's why we have large populations of Japanese, Chinese, and Filipino descent.
What are some of the economic impacts of sugarcane on Hawaii?
The sugarcane industry from the late 1800s through the mid 1900s was the main industry in Hawaii. They were responsible for the large number of people who were employed. They were responsible for a huge part of the economic engine in Hawaii. It was the major industry in Hawaii for a very long time.
What are the environmental impacts of sugarcane on Hawaii?
Sugarcane actually has a very positive environmental impact on Hawaii. There are many people today who will say that it doesn't. They will say that it ruins the air quality, it ruins the water quality, but in fact sugarcane is a very environmentally responsible industry. Growing a crop, you take more carbon dioxide out of the air and produce a lot of oxygen. So in fact, when people talk about greenhouse gases, the sugarcane industry absorbs greenhouse gases and produces oxygen in return. In terms of how they grow the sugarcane, the sugar industry does not use pesticides or herbicides, chemicals. Nothing that's stronger than what you would use in your backyard to control weeds. Instead, they use what's called predators to control pests. So they find a bug that eats another bug instead of spraying chemicals to kill bugs. They just find one that naturally eats the other bug to get rid of it.